Super simple baked cabbage that you are going to love. My mom has made this recipe for years. She taught it to me. I taught it to my daughter, and we all love it. The only problem is it's usually doused in oil. And since I'm done with oil, I had to figure out a new way to make it. And I'm going to teach you how to do that today. All you need is 4 simple ingredients. You need your cabbage, you need black pepper, and any kind of salt. I just have a thing of regular table salt here today. And then to coat it, to take the place of the oil, we'll either use aquafaba. That's what I'm using today. That is chickpea juice, for those of you who don't know. So aquafaba, or you can use my other secret ingredient that I used before I discovered aquafaba, is veggie broth. So as I give the directions, if I say aquafaba and how much I'm going to use with it, you can just sub in veggie broth if you don't have aquafaba. So let's get right to it. For the cabbage, you can cut it in a few different ways. Today I'm going to do bigger hunks, which is how I was taught how to make it. But you can also do it with littler strips if that's what you have on hand with the cabbage. They just have to be big enough so they can bake in the oven for a while. So I'll just start at the top and get these big hunks going. I'll cut that in half, and then I'll just put it in the column. And you just slice down, get your pieces of cabbage going. Honestly, you guys, the hardest part is cutting the cabbage. And the thing is, as I try and incorporate more veggies into my life, it's just being creative with how you prepare the vegetables. I really like baked veggies, so that for me is a go-to way of cooking them. I don't mind steamed, but it's, you know, sometimes steamed can be, for me anyway, a little bland. And so I like to have a little variety with the different cooking methods. And I get those big hunks, you know, the big hunks with the, like the vein down the middle or whatever. I don't put those in though. Those are too tough. And when it gets down to the thicker parts, I cut them in half. Oh, my mouth is already watering thinking about the cooked cabbage. This is going to be so good. All right, that'll be the last piece. I'll just kind of rinse these off. Cabbage is pretty much protected. I washed the outside layer. I removed 2 leaves and then I washed the outside layer before I started. So this is just the middle part, which hasn't really been, you know, touched by anything, but I'll just rinse this off and then put it in the pan. All right, I have my baking sheet here, and as I rinsed it off, I noticed some pieces that had that big hunk of vein, so I'll just get those off. And then really you can take your cabbage and just dump it on the pan. And here you kind of notice where the big hunks are, and you can cut those in half. I got a few in there of the veiny part. All right, so here's the cut up cabbage, and now it's ready for the seasoning. So I'll start with a tablespoon of the aquafaba. Remember, you can use the veggie juice if that's what you have. And I'll just start sprinkling it around. And the second tablespoon, I think 3 tablespoons will be good enough. The intention with the aquafaba is to take the place of the oil. So we want that to coat the cabbage so that the salt and pepper stick. So just kind of moving it around so it gets coated with aquafaba all around. And you don't have to be too picky about it. The aquafaba kind of makes its way down to the bottom. And then I'm going to use the salt and just kind of salt it from top to bottom. And it's not even a half a teaspoon. When I tried to measure it out, I just did the shakes in my hand and tried to measure it out. And it doesn't even come out to like a half a teaspoon. It's not that much, but you just want to ensure that you have enough salt all around the cabbage, especially if you're like me, you like some seasoning in your veggies. So, and I can feel the bits of salt in there as I'm stirring this around with my hands. And you can always salt the cabbage after also if you find that you didn't put enough salt on there. I mean, really, you can't really go wrong with cabbage. If you love cabbage, you're gonna love this. And then on the pepper, I just do about 3 or 4 turns because I don't like a ton of pepper. Sometimes that's the only taste I'll get, and it's like too much for me. So just 3 or 4 turns, and then I lightly move it around so the pepper gets kind of all over the place. And literally, you guys, that is it. Easy peasy. And then we put it in the oven, preheated at 375 degrees. We'll do 25 minutes first, and then probably another 20 minutes. I'll check it and we'll see how it looks, and then we'll put it back in. So first, 25 minutes. Cabbage takes a while to cook because we want it to get nice and soft. First round check, you guys. The cabbage has been in for 25 minutes. So you can start to see the crispy bits. Those are the good parts. So I'll just kind of move it around and poke into it to see if it's soft. And it can go longer for sure. Yeah, some parts are really soft. So just kind of move the cabbage leaves around so they all kind of get mixed up again. And you can see how this is already shrinking down a whole lot. Cabbage shrinks down a whole lot when you bake it. So I'm going to put it in for another 15 minutes. I think that should about do it if I put it in for another 15 minutes. All right, you guys, cabbage is done. Hopefully. Let's check it out. Ooh, lots of crispy bits. Yum, yum. I love it. And look at that steam coming off. So good. So I just kind of move it around, get a little cushion with my fork. And really, you can let these go like as long as you want them to get as soft as you want them to get. But I like it when there's the crispy bits, but also the soft bits. So this will be good for me right now. And I'm going to put some on a plate and get a taste while you guys are here. Then I'm going to have this with dinner tonight. And I cooked this the other day with smaller strips, and that did work out good. Today I wanted the bigger hunks, but the smaller strips works out good too. Just they're a little easier to eat to me than the big hunks, and they get soft. Yum. So good, you guys. So good. I hope you try this out. This super simple baked cabbage. You get a little taste of the pepper, a little hint of the salt, and that softness of the cabbage. Oh my gosh, this is going to be so yummy in a bowl with a little bit of rice or potato. Yum. Perfect dinner. If you like super simple recipes just like I do, I hope you'll check out my playlist of super simple recipes. The more simple, the better. If it's too complicated, I'm not doing it. I'll see you next time.